Hi, welcome to my vlog, SAC 7108 for St Mary's University, and this is going to be on my coaching philosophy. I will try and reference sources as I go along, and I will put an appendix at the back if you want to take a closer look at some of my sources. My coaching philosophy is quite simple. I like to get the athlete to buy in and understand the program that they are going to be following. You need your athletes to buy into the program, or they're never going to produce the results that they or you want. They need to understand the process that they're going to be going through, so nothing comes as a shock or a surprise. And if you can get your athletes to fully buy in and understand the process that you're going to put them through, you're going to yield the best results. One of the sayings that I like to follow is build an engine and make them stronger. And I think if you follow this philosophy through all of your coaching, no matter what sport it is, it has a good carryover to most sports. When it comes to actually handling my athletes, I like to start with a process, and I like to follow the process all the way through. So I will normally start with an overhead squat analysis to try and find some imbalances, and then go into a sports needs analysis. With these two bits of information, you can link them together, so you can find what their sport needs and you can find what your athlete needs. So if he's weak in any areas, you can do some follow-up tests if you need to know more specifically, but you can get a good overall idea of what needs to happen with your athlete and how to get them to move forward and to be more successful in their sport. Through this process as well, they get to know that you're invested in them and that you're trying to get the best out of them. I take my influences from a lot of different sources. So over the years, I've trained a lot of different athletes in a lot of different sports. So from triathlon, including Ironman distance, tennis players, powerlifters, hockey players, and I do rehabilitation with some people as well. So there's lots of sources which have influenced me over the years. I don't think a one-size-fits-all approach works, because we all have different strengths and weaknesses, and being able to adapt to your client needs and the sporting needs, you need to be versatile in your approach. Some of the books that I've taken a lot from over the years are Special Strength Training for Coaches, Super Training, periodization books, kettlebell books, like including Pavel and stuff like that, Pilates, so all of the teachings from Pilates, Becoming a Supple Leopard, and facilitated stretching. So I think taking a whole holistic approach to training is always going to be worthwhile. So a lot of people that have influenced me would be like Pavel, Yuri Vygotsky, Joel Farrell, Ross Edgley, Dr. Kelly Starrett, and more recently, some of my biggest influences were going through my UKSCA process and all of the courses associated around that. The UKSCA made me think a lot more in depth on how I program, how I deliver my sessions, and what I need to do to get the best out of the people that I'm training. Opened me up to the thoughts of using Olympic lifting and the derivatives of Olympic lifting when training athletes. There's a lot of crossover for the ground force contacts and injury prevention, especially with runners. There's a lot of research around this area, and so utilising any of the Olympic lifts, utilising triple extension, increasing the amount of force that they can put through the floor, is always going to be a great benefit for them. Repetition and variety of movement is key, especially for an athlete if you want to keep them engaged in a program. Some of these athletes could be following a program for years, so getting some variety of movements in there, as long as you're following the biomechanics of what you need, like using unilateral or bilateral training, you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. Thank you for watching. Here are my references.